What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're ranking some Salvatore Ferragamo fragrances. Now some of these haven't worn in quite a while. Some of these I don't really gravitate to, and pretty full bottles, and then some of these are channel favorites that you're expecting to see towards the top of the list, and maybe some of it will surprise you. I don't think anybody will be surprised by number one. I think it's a full-on expectation if you've watched at least a few videos on this channel over the years. But we're ranking the 19 Salvatore Ferragamo fragrances that I own personally in this collection. And we're ranking them from worst to best. Now, none of them are bad, but the worst one, it's about as basic as I could have expected from Salvatore Ferragamo. So let's dive into it. Stay tuned. So number 19 is one that I picked up on a whim at, it was either a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx. Might have been Ross, I think it was a Marshall's. And I saw it, and it was a new flanker, and I was like, love Salvatore Ferragamo, let me grab that. It's Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme Subtil Fresh. So now again, not bad, just basic soap. Literal hand soap, not even bar soap, smells like hand soap. Like washing your hands in a restroom, literally anywhere, basic hand soap. If you want to smell like soap, like just to let you guys know, like it's not bad. I'll wear it to the gym in a little bit. It's just such a disappointment. I did a full review on how disappointing it was for me because it's just, I can't think of anything but basic antibacterial hand soap in any public restroom, at any store, place of business, more places of business, doctor's offices, things like that. I think of a clean facility. I don't necessarily think of that particular smell that all Walmart bathrooms have. You know what I'm talking about? The Walmart restrooms, they have this, even if they're in there cleaning them, they have this distinctive like funk smell. It's weird. It's every Walmart I've ever been to. It's like the smell of Walmart. But point being, not those types. I'm talking, a nice clean facility, because this is a very clean, soapy fragrance. Average performance, nothing crazy, literally nothing special, but not bad. I mean, I literally threw 3 sprays on to wear it to the gym. Number 19, my least favorite, Subtil Fresh from Ferragamo. Number 18 may surprise some of you because there's a lot of people that really enjoy this one. It's actually my least favorite of the 3. It smells like Bleu de Chanel. If you were to take the incense note completely out, you would get Aqua Essenziale, the original. This is a little 30 ml bottle. You can see how the juice level dropped a little bit. I've given it a bunch of chances. I've worn it over the years. It's just, nothing special. It's okay. It's nice. I like it. Don't love it. I wouldn't put it in that very good territory for me personally because it just doesn't like really grab me. Again, this is one I could have did the same thing I did with the last fragrance, just sprayed it to go to the gym, because I at minimum like all 19 of these. It just doesn't really resonate with me to where it's something that I actively like, ooh, I haven't wore that in a while, let me wear that. So a little disappointing for some, I'm sure, but yeah, the original in the line is actually my least favorite of the bunch at number 18. Citrus, fresh, decent, but not that special to me, Aqua Essenziale. Now this is one that I grabbed just so I could have all 3 and try, and it's pretty good. I don't think it's better than the other 2 in the line, but it's pretty good, it's okay. It's Salvatore Ferragamo F by Ferragamo. Got this little 30 ml, which is perfect. Spent like 10, 12 bucks just so I could check it out and try it. Worn it maybe twice, 2, 3 times, something like that. It's a little bit greener and more citric than F Black. It doesn't have the level of spice and powder that one does, but it's solid. It's okay. It's nothing I highly recommend. Clearly F Black's ranked higher than this. I would definitely recommend that over this one, but you gotta like powdered lavender and pepper and all these different things. It's got a dryer sheet, a spicy dryer sheet kind of thing going, whereas this is much more everyday forward, versatile type of profile. Like I said, citrus is a little green and woodsy. Again, nothing special, not super fresh, but grounded, solid, masculine, decent performance. It's F by Ferragamo. Now this one I forget I have sometimes because it's actually pretty decent, especially out the shower because it's on the weaker side. It's like a 3 or 4 hour fragrance. Really good for refreshing, for the gym, things like that. A little bit of a fresh floral smell. It's aquatic. It's Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme Subtil. the original to the flanker that I sprayed on. This is the flanker to this. And this is far superior. This used to be all over the rack stores for 20 bucks or whatever for 100 ml. And it's a decent grab. It's a decent fragrance. How it's got this light blue gradients to it. I would classify it as a light blue fragrance. Citrus, fresh, aquatic, soft floral. It's got this little synthetic, slight powdery, soapy iris note, clean musk, soft woods. Like, it's very subtle, as the name would indicate. It's not a strong performer. It definitely does a decent job at what it, intended to be, which is just a nice, everyday, fresh fragrance. It's going to leave something to be desired for a lot of people with performance. Is one you would have to take with you if you want to wear it through a work day, but it still smells good. That's the thing that it's really got working in its favor. Is as far as fresh fragrances from Ferragamo, this is one of the better smelling. Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme Subtil. Number 15, shame on me, I don't wear enough because I actually do quite like it. It's more of a green, spicy twist on kind of Nautical Voyage. It's Encanto Blue, and I actually love the bottle. I bought this, really liked it when I first sprayed it, wore it once or twice, and it got shelved like so many other things and got forgotten because I'm always reviewing and testing new stuff. This is actually pretty good. I do like it. It's more of a green forward Voyage. It's like what Voyage could be if it had more complexity. But if you don't like Voyage, you probably won't like this. I mean, there's still a chance you would, but if you like Nautical Voyage and want to see what a deeper, more complex scent could be, you might want to look into this one. Like this, when I say greens, it's not like super spicy green, like heavy basils and stuff like that, or rosemary. I want to say some of that is in there, but it's not like prominently featured to give it this heavy cooking spice smell. But there's a little bit of this green, crisp freshness to it that does add some body to the profile and definitely gives it more character than something like Nautical Voyage. It's a decent fragrance. Number 15, Encanto Blue. Number 14, one of the most underappreciated fragrances from Salvatore Ferragamo. This is F by Ferragamo, Free Time. Juicy citrus, fresh woody vetiver. It is that simple. There's other notes, but it's that. Great, everyday, clean, woody citrus fragrance. Another one, weak performer, though. This is like a 4-hour fragrance-ish. Love the bottle. Love the blue gradients to the clear. And it smells really good. This is, again, one of their better fresh offerings because they're not really, to me, not really necessarily known for just supreme freshies. They have more interesting like gourmands and musks and things of that nature, spices. They're really good at stuff like that, but their freshies aren't too bad. Problem is, for most people, they're weaker performers, so a lot of people will complain about that because people want their stuff beast mode, bro. Well, there's a place for this. This is a great gym scent, refresher, everyday wear, running errands, out the shower. That's where I think this shines. It'd be a great work scent. You just got to keep it with you and refresh every couple of hours. I mean, your olfactive perception and your skin chemistry is going to play a big role in this, but my experience, it's a below average performer, right around 4 hours. It does smell really good. Yellow citrus. I don't remember if it's lemon or grapefruit, but it's a yellow citrus with a fresh woody vetiver. It's that simple. It's F Free Time. Now, number 13, believe it or not, this is my least favorite of the bunch. And it's still a really good fragrance. It's just my least favorite of the 4. The 4 that are currently available in this line, the other 3 are just awesome. They really are some of Salvatore Ferragamo's best work for men. This is Ferragamo Intense Leather. Has a nice earthy accord with some iris, and it's more of an earthy iris, but you still have that violet leaf tie-in, that blue-green kind of thing that the original has, because it's got a lot of green elements, but it's still a very blue fragrance. It does smell good. It does dry into the original. You get that iris early on. You get a little bit of that soil earthiness later, and the leather is not overdone and overly pronounced to where it's just like the main thing. It's a softer leather. It's not some heavy, rough, animalistic type of leather accord. It is very approachable for what it is. Really good performer, too. I wouldn't say it's a beast, but it's above average in longevity, projection, sillage, all that good stuff. If you can find this one in any that sounds good, it's worth checking out. At least middle of the pack, roughly, for me. They have so many offerings that speak to me a little bit more than this one in its own line, the Ferragamo namesake line specifically. It's my least favorite of the 4, but that doesn't mean it's a bad fragrance. It's just not as good as the other ones to me. It's Ferragamo Intense Leather. Number 12, a beautiful woody fig fragrance that has been long forgotten. I have not wore this fragrance in years myself because it's on a bottom shelf. Like even moving here where it's at, the Ferragamo stuff's on this bottom shelf, literally this row, the bottom shelf. And these Pour Homme fragrances, by the way, it's Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme, they kind of towards the back. So even here, especially, they get forgotten. So this is a very woody, not so juicy fig. It's actually pretty damn good. Before fig fragrances kind of got their trend, I would say 4 or so years ago, this was really prominent and prevalent, and people were giving it some love. That is really good. It's got a nice woody tone, a little bit of an astringent, bitter feel with some light spices, other supporting citruses that manage to give it this like slight juicy richness to it. It is a good fragrance. It still is. I have no idea what availability and pricing is like these days on this fragrance. But, man, it's one I need to revisit. You know what? The hell with it. I'm going to wear it today at the recording of this video because smelling it, I do really want to wear it. I do like this fragrance. It's been a long time. No time like the present. Yeah, so the same day this video is coming out, this is going to be my scent of the day. Those of you that are watching this the day it comes out, expect to see a short scent of the day video later on, hours from now when this comes out. So yeah, it's decent. It's decent. When it comes to fig fragrances, woody fig specifically, it's pretty good. It's Ferragamo Pour Homme. Number 11. Okay, this is very blue. So a lot of rich bergamot, amber, and ambroxan, a little bit of spice. This is Ferragamo's Uomo Urban Feel. The color's fitting. It is indeed a blue fragrance. Really good. Very similar to Jeremy's Office for Men. Not the beast that Office for Men is, but this profile is very similar, I gotta say. The main notes I just mentioned are the main notes of Office for Men. Now, I'm not saying one's a dupe of the other or so on, but there is some similarity. This is kind of a slightly stripped down version of that in some ways. They're pretty close to one another, though. This one kind of falls in that 6 to 8 hour range in longevity, though. I do get pretty good longevity out of this. It's a very warm ambroxan citrus fragrance, so keep that in mind. If you don't like ambroxan, you might want to avoid it like the plague, but it's got a nice ambery, probably amber wood accord, so it's very warm, rich bergamot, light spice, and loads of shower gel smell. It's pretty damn good. It's Uomo Urban Feel. Coming in number 10, this is probably going to be ranked too low for a lot of people because they're just big fans of it, but it's a, middle of the pack. We're smack dab in the middle for me. It's 19 fragrances. This is number 10. Almost. There is no technical middle because it's an odd number with 19, but tiramisu, dessert, cake, and coffee. Uomo, the original. Very much a Christmas time fragrance to me. That's when I like the gourmands, is during the holiday season. December specifically is when I reach for gourmands, these dessert-like delectable fragrances. Smells like coffee cake. I've always said that about this because it's a strong coffee note. That's actually the main note for this line, except for Urban Feel. I don't really get any coffee in there. I'm not saying it's not in the note breakdown, but I don't smell coffee in Urban Feel. But the other ones have a prominent coffee note. Signature, Casual Life, and the original Uomo specifically. Monster performer. Some will say, oh, but newer bottles, bro. Just talking about my experience. My experience is this bottle right here. Yes, this bottle is several years old at this point. I would say every bit of like 4 or so years old. Roughly, maybe a little bit closer to 5 years. Really, really good performer. Don't need a lot of sprays. 3, 4, 5 if you want to stand out. 5, you'll really be standing out because this bottle in particular on my skin, really strong at 5 sprays. I typically do 3 or 4. When I do wear it on occasion, because it does not have a huge dent, because I very specifically wear this one in December once a year probably, maybe twice. I have so many fragrances, and I'm always trying to figure out what to wear, and I'm so seasonal and situational with a lot of things, and this one specifically, so I'll never go through this bottle, but I typically wear it, once every December, because I like to revisit it. It's good stuff. Coffee cake, Ferragamo Uomo. Number 9, smelling it's what made it jump up so highly. I haven't worn this in a long time. Very spicy, Oriental Woody. I don't really get much oud, but it's got kind of that typical designer. It's with the designer super synthetic oud accords they talk about. It's either really sweet or really spicy and rough, warm wood. And that's what Ferragamo Oud is. Very much like like a stripped down Bulgari Man Black Orient, which is long discontinued. That is superior to this, but kind of like of recent fragrances, the relatability, I would say something like 1 Million Golden Oud. It doesn't smell exactly like that, but think about that spicy, woody, leathery accord. All of those accords, take away the 1 million DNA, but the Oriental Woody spicy notes of that fragrance is kind of relatable to how this comes across. Very much smoke so, but much more about leather here. A nice rich, like rough and edgy type of leather. I mean, this is good. This is good. Pulling the caps and sniffing these is why this one ended up ranked in the top 10, because it's like, damn, I forgot how good this fragrance is. So again, I don't know pricing and availability on anything in this line these days. It's been a long time since I've looked, but if you can have an opportunity to get this one for a really good price, and any of that sounds good, you might want to look into it, because it's pretty good for what it is. Ferragamo Oud. One of the better bergamot green fragrances. You get some ambroxan, you get some fresh vetiver, Italian style citrus, Aqua Essenziale, Colonia. Colonia. This is good stuff. This is good stuff for sure. I do quite enjoy this one. Again, very seasonal. Springtime is exclusively when I wear it. That's where the slight juice level drop comes from. Been a while though. I didn't wear it this spring. That's the problem with having so many. Like, I have so many great spring fragrances that even if I wore one every day, I wouldn't wear all the ones I deem really good for spring. It's like that with every season. Summer being the worst. If I was to go to during the, from bell to bell, first day of summer to last day of summer, and wear two really good summer-oriented fragrances every day, I would not go through all the what I deem really good summer fragrances in the season. You see what I'm saying? It's a problem. You don't want all this. Looks cool to some, looks ridiculous to some, because it's kind of both. It's cool and ridiculous. But this in particular, if you get an opportunity to try it and you like the Italian citrus style, Acqua di Parma-esque, if you will, not exactly on that level, but I think they're still pretty available for a good price, $30 range. And if indeed they are, this is really good. Really, really good. It's not a spicy green. It's more of a fresh green. Fresh woody vetiver. The ambroxan helps give it some push and airiness and obviously adds to the freshness. And it's definitely centrally focused around that bergamot note at the top. This is really good. It's Aqua Essenziale Colonia. Now, number 7, this one's got a decently sizable dent because it's such a unique fragrance. It's musk and ambroxan, coffee and violet leaf. Uomo Casual Life. I'll never forget the first time I smelled this was at the Ferragamo store at the Galleria Mall in Houston, back when I lived in Sugar Land, Texas. We went to the Galleria. That was the first time I smelled this at Ferragamo, and that was when John Varvatos and Nick Jonas, the blue bottle, the first one, had just came out. I had smelled that and... I already had Dark Rebel, but I had just smelled that at John Varvatos, and a couple stores down was Ferragamo, and I was like, ooh, Uomo Casual Life had just came out. I want to try that, and I fell in love. I was on a mission to get this fragrance back then. I was determined. There was a moment in time I was really into this stuff because it's such an oddball fragrance. You get this aquatic, slight metallic freshness of violet leaf with a coffee bean note. Like, it smells like straight up like a handful of coffee beans. Clean musk and ambroxan. So fresh and musky. Not so much shower gel, but fresh and musky. Dry coffee bean. Aquatic. It's weird. It's a weird smelling fragrance. It really is. Gotta get a sweet spot. See how it fought me? Like I was doing that. See how it angles? Gotta hit it right in the middle. So, it smells so good though. It smells so good. It does have a little bit of the shower gel feel. Got the refresher and reminder. A little bit of shower gel from the ambroxan. But there's that dry coffee bean note. Such a wildly unique yet fresh fragrance. If you want something different in a world of redundancy among designers, even Ferragamo, underappreciated for what the impact I thought it brought when it came out in like 2018, 2019. I think it was 2018 this came out. Something like that. It's really good. Uomo Casual Life. Number 6, the self-titled hit, at least in my opinion, one of the best designers released in 2020, I think. It came out very beginning of 2020. It is the self-titled Ferragamo. Speaking of violet leaf, fresh greens. I want to say there's a little bit of rosemary in here, something like that. Very blue with a lot of green elements. Now, the fan is going to push this down, but pushed it right at me. The atomizer on these are phenomenal, pressurized atomizers. This smells so damn good, man. There was a moment in time I was really gravitating to this one. I need to revisit. I've already committed to wearing the fig fragrance today. Then the next week or so, I need to pull this one back out. It is so good, so underrated. Nobody talks about it. It gets no love. It's I don't know the availability and affordability these days, but I'll tell you what does get love, and they're obviously ranked higher, is bright leather and red leather. Red leather being the newest release. Bright leather gets a lot of love because people are finding it at the rack stores, and they're taking a chance on it, and they're remembering what I said or finally seeing my videos on it and saying, holy crap, you were right about this one. We'll talk about that one in 2 more spots. But the original, the namesake, I think it's underappreciated. Clearly, I feel it to be, top 10. Number 6, actually, from the house. I think they do a really good job with this one. You got to like Violet Leaf, though, because it's centrally focused around that. It's above average performance. You'll go nose blind to this one. It's Ferragamo. Number 5, hate it or love it, F Black. Is a damn good fragrance. A stripped down, affordable twist on La Nuit de l'Homme. I don't care what anybody says. I think there is a relation here to La Nuit de l'Homme. So you have this aromatic, powdery lavender, peppered spice. You don't get a lot of fruitiness to add any sweetness or anything like that. It's a mild sweetness, but as far as that powdery, aromatic spice, because the cardamom and the lavender do that in La Nuit de l'Homme. Here it's lavender and black pepper. I think it's really well done, but some hate it. Cheap and synthetic, cloying, suffocating, and others. Compliment machine. Oh my God, cheapy hype beast. Because this was a hype beast at one time. In this online community, this was a cheapy hype beast. And I think it still holds up today. It just doesn't really get talked about anymore. Still find it cheap. I think it's good stuff. Clearly. It's in my top 5. If you've never tried this, you are missing out in my opinion. It's F Black. Number 4. Let's dive right into bright leather from Ferragamo. So, what's special about this one? Because I just touched on it a moment ago. This color scheme is very fitting. It's a blonde leather accord. It's citrus and this kind of fresh leather accord. There's not, I say it every time I talk about this, there's not enough really good fresh leathers out there. This is a really good fresh leather. It wears well in the heat for being based around a rich leather cord, because it is a rich, like, I've always compared it to the Napa leather upgrade, specifically the beige leather or lighter color leathers, because you visualize the lighter colors, especially with it being a blonde leather accord as listed. The Napa leather upgrades in the S-Class. Like, picture if you've ever been on the showroom at a Mercedes dealer, you ever sat inside an S-Class that's got the upgraded interior, not the baseline interior, which is still genuine leather, but there's an Italian Napa leather upgrade interior package. Just smells of luxury and quality. Here you go. I've always related it to that. Always have related it to that Napa leather upgrade in an S-Class sitting on the showroom. Which I think's a high compliment, because it's, again, I'm talking about a, I'm sure the price has increased greatly, but at that level, you're looking around 120 MSRP, stickers around 115, 120 with a Napa leather upgrade for back in 2018. So I don't know what 2024's S-Classes with Napa leather are going for. I would assume probably 130, 135, 140 because of inflation over the years, but moral of the story, a six-figure luxury vehicle. I think that's pretty high praise to give a fragrance that you can get for around $50. Right? So if you've never given this one a shot and any of that sounds good, maybe look into it. It's in my top 5. It's Ferragamo Bright Leather. Number 3, with that said, this is their newest release. I actually bought it from Ferragamo's website because I did not want to wait for it to hit discounters. This is Ferragamo Red Leather. So this is everything that's good about bright leather. And I have a decan of spicy leather. It's the only one I don't have a bottle of. So if you were to take Ferragamo's spicy leather, which is clearly very spicy and leathery, and take bright leather, which is very citrusy and fresh leather, now add a creamy yet powdery iris to the mix, you get red leather, which in my opinion makes it the best one. Hence why it's the highest rated. It's number 3 among the house and the 19 fragrances I have, but number 1 in the actual line to me. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Unsung hero of this year. Now, I'm very torn on if it's a top 10 release of this year, but it is a beginning of the year release. I think it's this year. Might have been end of last year. I don't know. I got to double check, but I'm very torn on if it cracks the top 10. Because I really do like this one quite a bit. Because I love iris, I love leather, I love spices, I love the core DNA of this, that violet leaf DNA. It's still present. It's a really good fragrance, and it performs really well. If you get an opportunity to try this one, please do so. It's Ferragamo Red Leather. Number 2, in my experience, it's a draw. This one draws some compliments. It's a big time draw. Coffee, sweetness, soft leather. Man, Uomo signature. All-time great from the house. I've gotten many back when I worked at Mercedes specifically. I used to get several compliments from customers with this. When I would wear this in the fall and winter. This is so good. God, it's so good. What the hell? Why is it not spraying? There we go. Had it turned a little bit. I haven't smelled it in a while. Man. So good. Light spice. Like I said, rich yet soft leather. It's not rough and tumble. Coffee beans. That same coffee beans you can find in Uomo and Uomo Casual Life. And then this sweetness that I relate to kind of like Eros's like appley vanilla sweetness, but with coffee, spice, and leather. Man, this is a banger and a half. Long lasting, 8-10 hour range. Really good sillage. Not a crazy projector, but the trail on this one's really good. Oh, so freaking good. So good. Man, I don't know what pricing is these days. I'm sure it's still pretty affordable, probably in that $50 range. It's not as cheap as it used to be, I'm sure, because it was creeped around 50-ish or so dollars about 2 years ago. It's probably still in that realm. Man, this is so good. This is so, so, so good. And people are going to ask, this or Halloween Man X? Hands down this. To me, this is far superior to Halloween Man X. Sure, they have a relation in scent profile, but this is much better. Doesn't smell as cheap and synthetic. It's not as rough in the opening. It's much smoother. Man, my number 2 from Ferragamo, Uomo signature. And a lot of you guessed it. Of course it's my number 1. I don't think it'll ever not be. Aqua Essenziale Blue, one of the fragrances most notably related to this channel. The biggest dent of all the Ferragamo bottles, clearly. It's one of my favorite blues ever. As far as affordable blues, my favorite ever. Powdery aromatic, citrus, spiced aquatic, woodsy, a little earthy. Get some ambroxan. You get lavender, wood, cypriol oil gives it this nice earthy green tone to kind of ground it and pull back some of that freshness. Again, you got to like powdery. It is a powdery blue. I don't know if it's the lavender, the tonka bean, or both. But it's not super soapy for the being, lavender based in the top. I've always gotten really good performance, 8+ hours on my skin, really good projection for about 2 hours. It's nice and fresh, spicy. Man, there's another one. So the first quarter of the bottle that's gone, back to when I was at Mercedes. There was a couple weeks where I would just rock this. Like, I really fell in love with this fragrance. Like, I got it, sprayed it a little bit, and then kind of shelved it for a couple of months, and then just one day went on a whim. Let me wear that today. I put it in my backpack, and I didn't take it out for weeks. Like 3 weeks, maybe even a month, roughly. And I just wore this every day. I would go to the gym in the mornings before work. My gym was literally like 3 or 4 minutes away from Mercedes. I would go to the gym in the morning. Then I'd clean up, get dressed, spray this on, and go about my day. And it became a routine thing to spray this fragrance for a solid, 3 weeks to a month before I finally switched it up. And I mean, you can tell I like my variety when it comes to fragrances, but it was just something about this one. And I've been singing its praises for years. This was before I ever had the channel that I was doing that. And because I started this channel when I was working at Mercedes still. It was towards the latter portion of me working there. Because I had been there for a couple of years before I started this channel. But, man, if you ever get an opportunity to try this, this is that jam. It's my favorite Ferragamo fragrance. It's Aqua Essenziale Blue. Well, that's how I rank the 19 Ferragamo fragrances that I have in my collection. Bro, what about this one? Where's this one? Where's that one? I don't own them. They can't be ranked if I don't have them. Same thing with spicy leather. I have a decant. I'm not going to put a decant in here with all the bottles, but if just to throw it out there, spicy leather would be in the tops. It'd probably be a run of spicy leather, bright leather, red leather. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would have been number 5. If I'd have had that and had 20, just to give you guys some perspective, spicy leather would have been ranked at number 5, then bright leather, red leather, Uomo signature, Aqua Essenziale blue. Just to give you guys some perspective. I will have a bottle of it eventually. I do really enjoy it. Plus, it's the only one I don't have in that line. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one.